Dave Morales travels to Hollywood, California to sit down with the Invisible Man stars Elisabeth Moss, Oliver Jackson-Cohen, and more for BackstageOL.com. Join us for more backstage interviews with your favorite stars by clicking the subscribe button right below. Now get ready to be freaked out. This is Backstage with the Invisible Man.
Insane is how I describe this story because I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, that's a high compliment.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if that was your goal, you did it. It's I've never seen anything like this before.
Really? That's so great. I mean, I just finished the movie, so to hear you say that, it's like you're one of the first people in the world to see the movie and, you know, tell me their reaction.
And I'll tell you, I'll back up what I'm saying, so I'm not just giving you a line, is the fact that, number one, what scares me is that it could be true. No spoilers in this interview, but I'm thinking, wow, this really could.
That was the goal when I was writing. When I first sat down, the first goal that I wrote down in my little notebook was, how do you make this grounded? How do we get away from the idea of drinking a potion? And I wanted to make it feel like it could happen to anyone, anytime, tomorrow. You know. And you know, that was the goal.
And the relationships too that exist. The abusive relationship, you know, plays into a lot of the story. People will see that. I mean, there's a social commentary too. I'm not telling people they're going to go learn something, but that's kind of what added to the reality of this whole thing. Because while that may not happen, what happens in this film, people are going, "What? That's why you have to go see it." Is it people like, "Wow, this could happen."
Yeah. I mean,
anyway,
you know, my first sort of. Goal when I'm on a film set is to make an entertaining film, something that has the audience, on the edge of their seat, something that's gripping. And then the messages, there's like a little dollop of social commentary in there, but it's like, mostly I want to entertain a cinema full of people.
Right.
And then when they leave, they start to unpack it in their mind and start going deeper than the, that top layer, the entertainment layer.
You did it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How proud are you of this cast? Because these had to be challenging roles. The title implies, obviously, that there's an invisible character going on. Elisabeth, everybody was just... How hard were those scenes to film?
I mean, so hard. It takes a lot of crew members. One person's not going to come up with the answer to these problems. We did everything on the set from cutting-edge CGI stuff where we had a man in a full green bodysuit that we have to paint out later, which I found out is extremely difficult, all the way to special effects that they would have used on the set of the original 1933 Invisible Man. I'm talking about a props guy standing just out of frame and like pulling an object on a string. It was sort of, there was no one approach to doing what we did. It was everything, and it doesn't hurt to have actors like Elisabeth Moss.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. The H.G. Wells novel, of course, 1933 film. Besides that, were there other elements that you drew from? I mean, this is a complete different story.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to modernize this character, drag it into the modern times. I didn't want to take a flamethrower to the original text. I obviously love this character, but I knew that the best tribute I could pay to the Invisible Man character was to modernize it, to make it so that an audience today, even an audience of teenagers or younger people, could sit down and feel like this is the first time they're seeing this story.
How mischievous were you as a kid? Because when we talked at Insidious Chapter 3, I went back and watched our interview, and I didn't ask you about that, because your resume is really a who's who of scaring us. You love to scare us, so you must have been extremely mischievous as a kid.
Well, I did. There was a delight in scaring people. Like, I do remember spending some time with my cousins and really having that that feeling of fiendish glee when I would tell them a ghost story, and you would just see that panic in their eyes, like you knew they weren't going to sleep that night because I had told them this ghost story. So I wouldn't say I was like the prankster that was getting in trouble at school, but that desire to scare people was always there. And then now I've managed to make a job out of it.
And you've done it again, my friend.
Thank you.
Fantastic work. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Scary films, kind of like, I'm like, my mom loves them. I'm kind of like, ugh. But dude, I love this story.
Thank you so much.
My man.
How are you?
I'm okay. I had to sleep with the lights on. I'm not going to lie. Because you're like that, don't you?
Love it. I love that I give people nightmares.
You do. And let me tell you what happened. No spoilers during this interview.
Yeah.
But there's like a refrigerator in the corner that every 20 minutes it just makes a popping noise. So I'm like, seriously? You were in my room.
I apologize.
Anyway.
I apologize for that.
When you read through this script, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Oh, I just thought it was such a tight kind of story, and it was such a tight script. And I think Leigh, that's down to Leigh. There's no fat in this movie as well. It's so lean, the kind of story and the script, and basically what the movie is exactly what the script was. So I just thought it was just such a brilliant. It was just such a brilliant story, and the fact that you're going to take this, you're using the whole idea of domestic abuse, and that's what you're concentrating on, and that's how you're telling your story. I just thought it was so clever. But I told you outside, I kind of hadn't realized that it was the Invisible Man, as in the Invisible Man, because the story was so original.
Right.
Until they announced that. Because I just got the phone call being like, do you want to go and do this movie? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And I love Elisabeth Moss. And I just thought, this will be... And I thought Leigh's last movie was really brilliant. And then I got there and I suddenly realized, oh shit, this is like the Invisible Man. But it was, I think it's a testament to Leigh that he'd written a script that was so original that I stupidly hadn't even realized.
Again, no spoilers, but the title implies that
Yes.
there's somebody that's invisible.
Yes.
My question to you, though, about that is like, what was the most challenging? Because there are things that people can't see. I don't know what you saw. I don't know what without, again, no spoilers, but what was the most challenging part? Because these are completely different roles, I think, as actors. This is probably something completely different than you've ever done before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really thought the whole thing through. I remember speaking to Leigh. I was in London at the time. And I remember speaking to Leigh. We spoke quite a bit, sort of a month or two before we started. And I said, what's the deal with the invisible bit? And he was like, it's gonna I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. And I kind of didn't think any of it through. And then I got to Australia and they showed me this. The only way it can be, it's like this sort of like a giant, a tiny kind of green baby grow. And they went, put this on, and that will be your costume for good kind of 70% of the movie. And so I hadn't really thought about how humiliating that would be going into it, but it was a lot of fun.
If you could be invisible as a power, if you could have, all right, you just kind of did that. 'Cause I totally would, but I'm asking you, would you have that power? Because I totally would. I want to know what people are saying behind my back. Would you do it?
Do what he does in the movie?
No, not that. Just if you could have the power of invisibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everyone would love to know what it's like, but the only thing is that I can't, and this is me being very honest, I can't think that I would ever use it for good. Like, I don't think anyone would. You go to the dark, if you go, ooh, well, if I could be invisible, well, I'd do that. It's like that, no, try and save the world. No, I don't want to save the world, I want to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. What would you do if you were invisible?
Same thing. You
Yeah,
kind of put that.
exactly.
I really just want to hear the gossip about what people are saying. It should be good, I hope. But now that you put that in my head, heck yeah, I'm down for that. In fact, let's do it together. I'll get a 2 for 1. The mischievous smile gave it away. I loved it, man. Great work. It's great to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Bravo. Incredible work.
Thanks.
This had to be like nothing else you've ever done. I mean, the title implies that there's somebody that you can't see, and you have a lot of scenes where there's somebody you can't see. How difficult was that to film? I mean,
That wasn't as difficult as the fight scenes when I had to work with the stunt double and actually interact with the person we can't see. The ones where he's just not there. That's kind of what I do every day. I mean, that's what I do on set all the time, pretending that the cameras aren't there and pretending that something is happening that is not happening. So for me, that's kind of the skill of my job.
no, absolutely, and you rock it. You totally rock it. So my follow-up to that is, you're in a lot of your scenes, you are just terrified. I mean, I'm glad you're okay. It's good to see you today.
Thank you.
I know it's a movie and a character, but mentally, where do you go? Do you feel the adrenaline?
It's so hard to describe, and I feel like an idiot talking about it, but. It's kind of a combination of things. I am aware of the camera. I am aware of what's happening. I'm aware of what's going on around me because I have to be. It's almost like you split into two people, and then the other part of me is experiencing the scene. I can't even describe to you yes, I do feel the fear. Is it real fear? Probably not. Sometimes it is. But it's so kind of intangible
No, it makes sense. It's just I get it, but as I'm watching you, it's just so good and so credible.
Thank you.
I'm like, what is she thinking? Like, I know this is a movie and you're great at acting, but I'm like, poor thing. I'm gonna pray for her.
Good. Then I did my job.
You did your job. You like scary movies, I heard.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I love them.
My mom loves them. I'm terrified of them.
Really?
So
My best friend is terrified of them.
Yeah, I'm a chicken. What is it about the scary element that you like so much?
I'm not easily scared, and I have a very high threshold for sort of dark material, obviously. And I love the exploration of darker subjects, and I think that feeling that you get when you watch a scary movie is similar to a roller coaster, right? Like you've survived it. It's a safe way for us to survive a fear without actually putting ourselves in a dangerous situation. When we get through a scary movie and we feel like we've survived it, we feel like we got through it, we did something. And it's not real, but you do have that adrenaline rush and then that feeling of accomplishment at the end.
Amen to that. I've described it sometimes myself. I'm like, I got through it, yeah.
You got through
it. Going up when you go up the roller coaster.
Yeah, and then you laugh about, oh my God, that was so scary, and oh my God, remember when I screamed, and it becomes like an experience.
And apparently, I only ride wooden roller coasters because I just did that noise. If you could have the power of invisibility and just kind of float around and see you're giving me the smile. Would you do it?
I would sneak onto sets, and I would watch actors that I love and admire up close without them knowing I was there. So nerdy, but it's true.
I will say that it's great to see you again.
Yes,
you look
nice to see you
fantastic
too.
and great work in The Invisible Man.
Thank you.
So, was it scary on set? Because it feels like there'd be an intensity given this story.
It wasn't scary, actually. Thankfully, I feel like we created such a bond that it was comfortable, and we were having a lot of fun. And every time Leigh would cut the camera, we would go back to laughing and being in our reality. So I feel like that was important, but it was a lot of fun to film.
And I'm glad you answered that because my next question was like, how do you cool down when there's such an intense thing going on? It's good. So let me ask you this though: does everybody look around and go, "Everybody okay? Everybody okay?"
I think so. Like when you're crying and you're screaming, of course people want to make sure you're actually okay and you were just in character and there's nothing else going on. But again, it was a lot of fun and it wasn't like we were walking on eggshells, which was great because like when you're doing these tense things, you want to feel comfortable when you're like going home and you're in between takes. But it was good.
Do you like scary movies?
Yes, I'm starting to develop a love for them, but when I was younger, I was like, no way I'm watching that, no way I'm doing that. But I feel like as a teenager, that's what my friends want to go see, like, let's go see a scary movie. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, so I'm like, okay, but I like them.
Well, call me Debbie because I'm terrified of these. I think the thing that really scared me about this is that it could be possible.
Exactly.
And again, no spoilers, but am I right?
Right. I feel like with Adrian's character, he is somebody who is powerful, he has a lot of money, and he's very intelligent. So with that, you can ruin someone's life, which is very frightening. And I mean, I guess the concept of invisibility is frightening as well because when you're being invisible, for the most part, you're trying to be sneaky, and I don't like sneaky stuff. So it is very frightening.
Can I tell you, though, that I think if I could be invisible, maybe just for a day, I would do it. Would you?
Probably not. Again,
Really?
I don't want to be sneaky unless it's like a sneaker coming out where I could like cut the line and get in front of everybody. Then maybe I'll do it, but anything else, I'm good.
Yeah, because if I can't get tickets to like a show I want to see, like Lizzo's coming to Houston and it's sold out, I don't have tickets.
course it
I would be
is.
invisible and go watch her invisible.
Right, exactly. Maybe that will work out.
That's cool.
Yes.
Well, great to see you again. Congratulations and fantastic work.
Thank you so much.